Now, a Nigerian pilot who works for Air Djibouti has become the first African pilot in history to fly solo around the world. The pilot completed the entire circumnavigation in a Cirrus SR-22, stopping in more than 15 countries on 5 continents, returning to Washington, D.C. in the United States, where his journey began back in September. But the flight is part of Project Transcend, a foundation which aims to inspire young people to achieve their goals, regardless of their personal circumstances. Ademilola has logged over 4,000 hours as a commercial Boeing 737 pilot since earning his pilot license 6 years ago. He joins us now on the news to tell us more about his exploit. Thank you for joining us on TVC News.
Thank you very much. So, good morning to you.
Good morning. An impressive feat indeed for an African. How do you feel?
I feel elated. I feel great. It's a dream come true.
So what was the idea behind Project Transcend for an African to globetrot around the world?
Well, the aim was to inspire, just like you've said, and to give hope to the millions out there from Africa that they can achieve as well.
So what was the funding like? Was the project the sole financier of the journey?
I think this perhaps was the most difficult part of the whole journey, which is why it took so long. Finance is always a key element of any project, as you would appreciate. So that was very, very difficult. Also, the belief from people, mainly from Africa, was another hurdle that we had to overcome.
Mm. So how long did it take you to start and then finish the journey?
In total, it took about 9 months. But the physical flying side of it took about 6 weeks. Once you get going, and then you hit a brick wall again, you kind of regroup and carry on.
Okay, so. Yeah, and then you stopped over in 15 countries?
I actually stopped in 25 countries.
25, wow.
35 stops, 25 countries, and a total of just under 300 hours.
So the 35 stops were between how many hours or minutes?
About 300, just under 300 hours.
In total?
In total, yes.
So you were you sleeping whenever you stopped, or you was just traveling?
Generally, this aircraft flies about 3 times less the speed of a typical Boeing 737. So if it takes you 2 hours from here to there in a 737, it took me 6 hours. Wow. My longest leg was 14 hours. So what I generally do was to sleep at every stop. But due to the size of the airplane, I couldn't always take off when I wanted to because of weather. So I had to, if you like, take off in very good conditions most of the time, which added to the delay as well.
So was there any time during the journey that you just wanted to stop, pack up and go back to home?
There was a few times. There were a few times, and I think the last time was quite significant because the one person would always supported me for many years said, if you give it up this time, that's it, I'm done. So that was very difficult. I was stuck in Australia for about 6 weeks due to some paperwork issues or whatnot, and eventually I stuck with it. 2 days after that, got my papers, and I was like, yeah, it's time to go.
Okay. But how has the sport been now since you finished the journey? Yes, we are talking about it now in Nigeria, yes, on our channel, but how has the reception been across Africa, knowing that, yes, you're the first African to achieve this feat?
It's been quite amazing, actually. I've been receiving calls from Tanzania and from all sorts, everywhere. South Africa's called me, a few guys from there, from Muscat. So it's kind of gone viral, and I think it makes me feel much happier and proud that I was able to put a lot of smiles on a lot of African faces. So
how symbolic is this journey you've been able to make now across the world for young Africans, thinking that because they're black, they are not meant to achieve some things? What should it learn or pick from this?
I think they should, this is a great example that wherever you're from doesn't have to be a barrier. However, having said that, I think the powers that be need to create the, if you like, the enabling environment for a lot of young ones to showcase their talent. I think it's almost like an 80 to 20% thing where the environment has to be right for the skills to come out. That's what I think, really.
All right, thank you very much for
Thank
your
you
time.
so much. Thank you so much.
Ademilola Odujirin, first African to travel across the world. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Stay with us on TVC News. We're going to a short break now. Return in a moment with more stories.